So welcome back. We are now in step 89, which is all about formatting the page layout and changing page setup in Excel. Um, the purpose of understanding page layout and page setup is because you guys have all seen how big Excel is as a spreadsheet. So can you imagine printing all those sheets in Excel? So you always want to manage your print jobs by going to print preview and managing how your document will print. So let's go ahead and get started by opening up your payroll 3 document, and save this document as payroll 4. Alright, make sure that you are on your employees sheet tab by making it active, and click on your view tab and then your page break preview. If you get a dialog box, welcome to the page break preview, just click OK. Now notice our page break preview allows us to preview our document, how it would actually print. So up until row 47 on up would print on one page, and then the second page would be 48 through 51. Alright, now it's possible that you may have to verify that your settings are on the proper orientation. So click on page layout and go to your orientation and just verify that you are in fact in portrait. So the next thing you will do is click your dialog box for your page setup group. And this is similar to the same settings, just like in same setup, just like in Word. We want to, this another place to look at your orientation. We've already verified portrait, but this time we want to look at our scaling and make sure our option adjust to 100% normal size is selected, and click OK. Okay, so let's scroll down to our page break. Now, say for example, you wanted the last 4 entries to print on page 2 and not page 1. You can manually adjust your setting by moving your line over the dotted line and getting the double head arrow and clicking and dragging it up to in between 44 and 45. So we've now adjusted our page break for the data that we want to print on page 1 and what we want to print on page 2 by manually adjusting that line. Click on the View tab and go to Normal View and scroll down. So notice our page break has now been inserted on line 44 where we manually adjusted. So let's go back to our page layout tab and select our orientation, and this time let's select landscape. Scroll up. So when we selected landscape, landscape is shorter. Remember that portrait is your long ways 8 by 11 sheet, and then landscape would be sideways, so it's actually shorter. So when we selected landscape, it actually moved our page break up to line 34 because that's all the data that landscape can hold in sideways view. However, our manual page break is still here. So click in row 45. And in your page setup group, drop down on your breaks button and select remove page break. And notice the manual page break has been removed since we now have a new orientation where it can only hold up to line 34. Now, go back to your page setup dialog box, and this time we will select fit to 1 pages wide by 1 tall. Click OK. Notice that the dotted line is no longer visible. Now, click Earnings Sheet tab to make it active. And you're going to click on your View tab, your Page Break Preview. And if you get the dialog box, click OK. And notice as we scroll down, so far we're on pages 1, 3, and 5, and then 2, 4, and 6. So essentially, if we printed this document right now, it would print 6 pages of data. Let's go to normal view and return and scroll down. Make sure you're back on normal view and scroll down. And notice we have our page break in between lines 47 and 48. Click in cell A31. Click Page Layout. And in the Page Setup group, let's go back to Breaks. And this time, we want to insert a page break. Now the dotted line now appears on the spreadsheet where the page break will be. So remember guys, you can adjust your document for print by inserting and removing page breaks to determine where you want your data to fall on each sheet. Go ahead and save the changes that you made to this document and leave the workbook open for step 10.